Hi there, just read this disclaimer please. So, the polls have closed, the polls have closed. Alright guys, how's it going? So, election night. The polls are in at 365 for Conservatives. Bigger majority than expected. I thought I'd just kind of see how it all affects my portfolio really. I just want to have a look. Obviously the markets are closed at the moment, obviously, but tomorrow morning we'll see what happens. How do I get US dollar? Let's have a look at, see how the one thing we can look at though is the currencies, because they seem to go all day long, because obviously each country has its own time zones. So we're up 2% on the day. Oh yeah, look, there's a spike. Right, so because I was just wondering how much of whatever result we get is already baked into prices, but obviously it wasn't baked in fully into the value of the pound. This is, compared to the dollar, there's a big spike there at 10 o'clock when the poll came in. I presume it was 10 o'clock when the poll came in. Yeah, about 10 o'clock. Wonder how it's doing against the euro. Was there a jump there as well? Yeah, bit of a jump. 10 o'clock. So if we look at the portfolio at close of business at 4 PM, so everything was quite high up. All the UK focused ones, Barclays, RBS, they were both up by a couple of percent. The other UK focused up a bit, Glaxo down a bit. So this is what I'm wondering, there's a jump in the pound, so maybe all of these non-UK ones, and even the UK ones that have companies that sell a lot outside of the UK, might be down. So I would imagine, well, who knows, there might be equally good news in Asia, mightn't there? Who knows? But I would guess that might be down tomorrow morning. That might be up, although it's up today already. How much of that is baked into the price already? The markets might have made good predictions anyway about the majority. Not that it's good. I'm just saying that's what the market wants, is certainty. The lack of a hung parliament. So who knows, if the pound goes up, this will probably fall. This will probably fall. That will gain. That should gain. Don't know. It's all the large companies, isn't it? So, and a lot of the large companies get more of their earnings from outside of the UK. So I'm not sure what will happen to City of London. Finsbury probably fall. They're all like global companies. So my guess is that it would probably fall. Glaxo will probably fall because that's a global facing company. Henderson Far Eastern Income, I reckon that'll probably fall. That'll probably fall because that's in emerging markets. Lowland, I reckon, will rise. I think because there's I think it'll rise because it's smaller companies which tend to be more domestic. Murray International will probably fall. Royal Bank of Scotland will probably rise. Royal Dutch Shell will probably fall because that's a global company. Scottish Mortgage will probably fall. And Standard Life in property. Now, this one hopefully will rise a lot because there's lots of stuff happening with commercial property at the moment. There's open-ended funds closing because investors are taking their money out, so maybe some certainty will boost the price there. Although, to be fair, this trust has done reasonably well, whilst all of those open-ended funds have been doing badly, and I think two of them have had to stop trading. That's probably not the right term. That should rise, although it's hard to say. That's just a FTSE tracker at the moment, isn't it? Marlborough Multicap, I reckon, will rise. And VMID will definitely rise. That's a FTSE 250 tracker. Because the FTSE 250 is a lot more UK focused than the FTSE 100 is. So they're my little predictions for tomorrow morning. I'm not 100%. I'm not confident in them because we've had moments like this before. You know, like after elections and when Trump got in, And the markets sometimes don't do as I've expected, or as some people have expected. Let's me go to bed and see what the actual happenings are. Alright guys, this is something I like to do sometimes if there's nothing better to do or watch or see. Listen to CNBC on Tuned In. So it's 2 minutes to 8, so the markets will be opening in a few minutes' time after the election. There's something that's confused me. I saw it on the BBC and I've seen the same numbers on Sky News. There's 650 MPs. So to get a majority, so half of that, i.e. a majority, is 325, which is what it says on the BBC's screen. It says, well, on the BBC website, it says you need 326 to win, or whatever win means. But then it says here, and it says the same on the BBC, similar numbers, Conservative win projecting a majority of 78 to 80. But then if we look here, let's make the screen bigger, see, oh no, it doesn't work, does it? But so so you can see what they've won already is 363 seats. There's 2 more seats to come in, so they'll get a maximum of 365. Sorry, they'll get a maximum of 365. So if you subtract that from 325, that's a majority of 40, isn't it? You're 40 above the 50% mark, which is what you need for most votes in Parliament. So I'm really confused as to why Sky and the BBC say it's about 78 to 80 majority. So if anyone could comment below, I'm sure I'm missing something really stupid, or I've done some sort of stupid maths there that's wrong. Let me know what I'm missing here. Maybe is there certain parties or certain sections of the vote that just don't vote at all? Certain MPs? Maybe the speaker. Well, there's one. The speaker. He or she doesn't.
Because he or she is only ever said by men who are fully intended on just saying he, and at the very last second remembered that she exists.
Is it a he at the moment? I think it's a he. So that's just one MP I know that doesn't vote. I don't know if there's other MPs that don't. So the currencies. So they jumped last night by a couple of percent. Let's see how we're doing against the US dollar. So it looks like we're down a little bit. So a little bit of that 2% jump from last night has been traced back a bit. Let's see the chart. But yeah, so if you look at the 1-day chart, it looks like it's gone down. But if you give it the full perspective, that's the effect of the election result. So it's down a bit, and I presume it's going to be a similar chart for the euro as well, presumably, because that's down a touch as well. And it was up a touch last night, 5-day. Yeah, similar thing.
And that is a foreign owner here in the UK. Diageo is the weakest in the basket of stocks. It trades down this morning by about 3.2%.
Yeah, so Diageo is a sort of stock that Finsbury Growth and Income owns. That's probably going to be down. Yeah, so some of it's not just Brexit, not just the UK news. Some of it's affected by more worldwide issues. Right, I'm not sure it's long enough past 8 o'clock to have got updated numbers on this portfolio tracker. Although maybe there is. So the 2 banks are up by about 4.5%. Well, nearly 5%. That's weird. I've expected that to have gone down because it's a foreign country. Because the value of the pound goes up, that means the earnings abroad are worth less to us in pounds. So I would expect things like that to be down, but it's up. That's as I'd expect, because it's mainly UK stuff. Flat, yeah, kind of. And then Finsbury's down a bit, and GlaxoSmithKline, yeah, I'd expect that to be down, because that's another foreign earner. I'd expect that to be down more. I mean, some of these things just haven't maybe had the effect yet. Maybe it's not, the market's not been open long enough for the news to be digested. So yeah, that's what I thought. Royal Dutch Shell, I thought that would be down, but Karen on the CNBC seemed to be saying that basic resources are up. Maybe I've misunderstood what basic resources means. Maybe it's not oil. Yeah, so a couple of banks are up. Now, this watch list here is what I used to do to see the Woodford holdings and track how they were doing. And he had loads of house builders, countryside property, IP Group, New River REIT. He had that, yeah, yeah. So you see, even though he did horribly badly, it's like they took away his job just before the stuff he bought was going to pop. So all of this stuff, if Woodford's the Woodford Equity Income Fund still held all of this stuff, it would be having a good few days now, probably. I would think. It's hard to say exactly, but it's like they took it away from him just before some of his bets were about to pay off. It's still, I mean, even if they did pay off, it wouldn't be making up for the losses that he'd made up until this point. But it's like they've like made the problem worse, I think, by selling all. Because I can imagine BlackRock, who have taken over the liquid part of his portfolio, I imagine they've probably sold out with Barratt all of these. Because what they're doing is they're selling down the liquid assets and they're putting it into a FTSE 100 tracker until January, when they can start paying the investors back. So I think they're just in a tracker at the moment, and I can imagine that these domestic focused companies that Woodford did hold would be doing better than a tracker today. But only today, though, you know. Probably for the past few weeks, probably been doing worse. It probably would have done worse. Who knows? It's like they've doubled the problem. Woodford held the things that did badly, and then BlackRock took over just when they'd all done badly, before they'd had a chance to recover the things that he bought. That's only the big stuff, though. You know, all of the smaller companies and the unquoted stuff, they were just bad investments, full stop, regardless of the timing of when he lost his job. Oh, bit of a change there. Sometimes I don't trust this website, you know. Sometimes I feel like it gives false numbers. Because, well, look at this. The banks, if that's true, the banks have popped a bit more and GSK's gone down a bit more. Although my percentage up is a bit higher than yesterday. So overall it seems to be doing better for me. This is only based on what I own now, though, because so if I in the past I bought something and sold it at a loss, this number doesn't represent that at all, so it can be misleading. Okay, so the one thing I forgot to check was the FTSE 250 tracker, because in my portfolio tracker thing here, it doesn't actually update. This changes minute by minute, but it doesn't update. I have to manually go in there and change it. I don't know, there's some sort of glitch. Whoa! 5.47% up, right, so that's definitely it's definitely a UK focused one that is having a bump. 34.6. I have to go in and edit this. There's some kind of glitch in there's some sort of glitch with this, because it's done in pounds, 34.6, but I have to type it in pence. I've got that right. Sorry. Can't remember a simple number. I have to type it in like that, obviously, and click update. So it's had a bit of a boost, so I'm 23% up now on that compared to whatever it was before. And I also forgot to mention this. Look at how rational that one is. It's barely moved at all. This could have been any other day of the year. I don't know. Maybe it's just that the share owners of this trust have just been rational for 3 years before. Who knows? 'Cause it didn't. Look, if you look at the chart of it, it's not really. It had a bit of a dip when the vote happened, but apart from that, it's been pretty rational, hasn't it? It's like it's seen through the fog of Brexit, even back here. So they're being rational now as well, I suppose. That's one theory, anyway. Who knows? So, oh yeah, a bit higher now. Oh no, I don't know. It's still within the range. 88.6. I'm still kind of flat on my buy. So yeah, that one's pretty flat. What's happened in the few minutes since I last saw you? Nothing really. They're all pretty similar. Glaxo's gained back a bit of it. This is only 20 minutes later from the last clip. City of London's up now. Was it down before? Can't remember. That seems a bit higher. Look how it's changed my top 10, my top holdings as well. BlackRock overtook City of London as my top holding about a couple of weeks ago. But now it's been kind of really close for the past few weeks. But now there's quite a gap. There's £1,000 more in BlackRock smaller companies than there is the others. Now, as a general plan, these top 5 holdings, if they become too imbalanced, I will rebalance these at some point. A grand difference between 1 and 2 isn't big enough, though. At some point, well, having said that, I suppose I could sell, I don't know, at some point. I'll wait a while for the differences to be bigger before I start rebalancing. I might sell a bit of BlackRock. See, in this situation, if that differential was much bigger, I could sell some BlackRock, buy some Finsbury, and as luck has it, they're similar yielding trusts, so I probably wouldn't lose out on income. But if there was a position where City of London was 5th at 27 grand and BlackRock was 1st in 33 grand, I could sell some of BlackRock, buy some of City of London, and I'd actually get a boost in income, but probably lose some growth in the future. But yeah, as you can see, the differential now is a bit bigger than it was yesterday because of this 4% gain. Mind you, that's a 2% gain anyway, so it's probably only a few £100 difference from yesterday.